I'd now like to introduce Mr. Thad Ackerman, who will give the keynote address.
I'm a little shorter. Thank you, Cole. I like the Kool and the Gang reference. That was nice. It made me think of another song. I'm thinking about maybe parents just don't understand, but that probably wouldn't play too well tonight. Just right off the bat. Good evening. I want to start by thanking and acknowledging Dr. Rees, school committee, administrators, friends of Amesbury Education, faculty and staff, students, family, and friends. Members of the class of 2016, I'm very excited, humbled, and honored to be here with you. Thank you so much for the invitation. So when I'm away from school and I meet new people, and they first learn that I'm a high school teacher, it's not uncommon for them to offer their condolences. It's true, sadly. That's because they assume that teens are difficult. I know this because they'll say something cryptic like, "Wow, aren't teens difficult?" I find this funny, and certainly not the joke, but the fact that they think you're difficult. Because I think that teens are less likely to be jaded by prior experiences and less likely to be hesitant to trust others. Senior students and underclassmen here tonight, compared to many adults I encountered during my personal time, you're typically more kind, more open-minded, more positively energetic, more cooperative, and thankfully, more forgiving of my lousy jokes. Bottom line, you inspire me, and I thank you for that. The world can be a difficult, unfair, and unforgiving place, and yet it's also wonderful, gratifying, exhilarating, particularly when you can support yourself doing something that you love. What a worthy objective, supporting yourself doing something that you truly love. Now that's a goal that both you and your parents can get behind. Although, if you think about it, your parents might emphasize more the supporting yourself part, and you might tend to focus more on the doing something you love part. But it can all work out. So when I think back to my high school and college years, to my first few years out on my own as a computer programmer at IBM, to graduate school at UNH, and to my 21 years of teaching right here in Amesbury High School, it becomes crystal clear to me how important education has been the whole way through. And I mean education in the broadest sense. I mean both my college courses and my self-taught education, both my teacher training classes and the wisdom I received from talented and generous mentors. Collectively, these keys opened up doors and gave me freedoms that I wouldn't have otherwise possessed. And I want these freedoms for you. Having as many options as you can is critical as you approach your 20s and continues to be important later in life. Wow, your 20s. Does it seem strange to contemplate? I know it does for some of you. We've talked about it. Does it seem like a long way off? Do you ever wonder why people ask rhetorical questions? Okay, so your 20s are really close, so try to imagine it. It'll be a time when you get to try to figure out what you really are all about and what you truly feel you might like to do with your life. Farther away from parental influence than you ever have before. As you leave high school, many of you will continue on to a new college routine, while some will choose an alternate path, be it the military, striking out on your own, or something else. But despite the differences in timing, all of you will soon get to a point when your future, your adult life, stretches out in front of you like an unstructured, yet-to-be-built roadway to a destination you cannot yet see, with landmarks and diversions you cannot yet imagine, with gas stations and fuel prices you do not yet know, with rest areas miles away that may not have the fast food restaurants you like, and the bathrooms might be dirty with no paper towels after you wash your hands, and you have to decide whether to walk around with wet hands or wipe them on your pants. These are the problems of our times, yes. You get the idea. So it's a long expanse is what I'm trying to say, and that can be daunting, intimidating, maybe even scary at times. It's like camping in the woods. Here it comes, here it comes. Intense, yes. Sorry, I had to do it. However, the possibilities are truly limitless. Let that sink in for a moment. So it's also exciting, and let's be honest, it's downright cool. Even if it's not cool for me to say that. But please, make no mistake, it's your education and the effort that you put both into your formal and informal education that will ultimately serve you well during this time. Okay, so your hard work will pay off. You heard it before, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, you've heard it because it's true. And for another thing, you often won't know how it will pay off. And so this means that your discipline, your self-motivation are vital because there's rarely a guaranteed specific reward that results directly from effort you expend. There's rarely a guaranteed specific reward that results directly from effort you expend. In addition, while some rewards are monetary, many are less tangible. The good news is, learning and working don't always have to be painful. As you move forward from here, you get to decide to do work that will be both enjoyable and financially rewarding. The holy grail, in my opinion. Okay, so education and being a lifelong learner seems likely to be important investments for your future. That's not rocket science, nor the first nor the last time you'll hear it. So what else? Well, how about being kind to yourself? We can often be harsher to ourselves than to those around us. And how about doing the right thing when no one's watching you and when you may not benefit from your actions? And as you make your way through the world after high school, remember to protect yourself from those with their own agendas who may try to waste your time or bring you down, while at the same time being willing to place your trust in those who are worthy. Trust your gut. Choose those on a positive path, those who are hard workers but who don't throw it in your face, those that challenge you yet acknowledge your humanness, those who inspire you to rise rather than set you up for a fall. People from all walks of life fit this description, and that's what makes life interesting and fun. Draw comfort and inspiration from these people. And don't forget, you also get to encourage and inspire others to be better. That results in rewards for all of us. It's also so important for you to continue to learn about you, what makes you tick. You've already come so far, but keep getting to know yourself even better as you chart your own paths. As I've mentioned to many of you in class, for me in high school and even in college, I had really no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I'm sure that many of you can relate. However, some of you, fortunate enough, you already know exactly what you want to do with your life. And to be honest, that really bothers me. It's just so annoying. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. The truth is, in high school, I envied my peers who knew what they wanted to do with their future. And isn't it often true that we are annoyed by those we envy? Okay, but back on point. Whether you know exactly what you want, have no clue at all, or somewhere in the middle, the fact is that knowing yourself is an ongoing process as you learn, grow, have new experiences, and meet new people. Your path through life will likely change, perhaps several times. And despite the collective best efforts of your parents, your friends and family, and we educators to encourage you to figure out what you'd like to do, change is normal and simply just a part of life. The key is, how prepared will you be to deal with it? So get introspective from time to time. Do things like journal writing, even when it's not for a grade. Make your bucket list, but also make your pre-couch list. That's my new term for things to do before you settle down too much on the couch. Okay. Travel after college worked great for me. To Europe on the cheap, staying in youth hostels was the first time I'd been out of the US. That's when I grew to appreciate art, and that's when the lessons of history I was lousy at absorbing in high school finally sunk in. And what an amazing perspective it is to see America from the outside and from a distance. A super way to realize clearly what you appreciate and also what you think could improve about our great country. Or travel within our country. Other states are often so different that they almost feel like separate countries. Make it a point to talk to people different than you. Have fun. Stop sometimes and do nothing but observe. Stop sometimes and do nothing but observe. Okay, cool. Get in touch with what you appreciate and enjoy about the world. And push your comfort zone. Try new things. Help people different than you. Try different kinds of work. You don't have to do it all the time, but make sure to do it. That's when interesting, fun, and rewarding things happen, and that's when doors to future happiness reveal themselves. Don't wait for the perfect moments to put yourself out there. They rarely occur. Don't let fear or laziness relegate you to inaction. Don't procrastinate. And if you can manage that last one, you're better than me, because as many of you know, I always meant to stop procrastinating, but never got around to it. Congratulations, seniors, on your noteworthy accomplishments. And to those I've taught in class or with whom I've had meaningful conversations with outside of class, thank you for trusting me and letting me influence and witness this part of your journey. I love my job. And while I'm not rich, I get paid enough to support myself while I'm doing it, and thankfully I don't get charged for telling bad jokes along the way. Of course, prudent tax planning, limited use of debt, and wise investing always help too. The warmest of wishes and the best of luck in ultimately finding your labor of love that also pays the rent. I'm very interested to see what you do next. Please keep in touch and let us all know. Thank you.